那我在哪里啊？
You need to join. If you want, but this again,
Yeah, you don't need to join the Tencent meeting. Hey guys, online guys, can you see me and can you get my voice?
Yes, 老师。
Okay. And remember to, let me see. Here are 12 persons in the Tencent meeting class. Good. Remember, log in with your student number. Student number ID. Yeah, good. And after the first class, I will check your attendance, okay? And let's get started our class today. Okay, here it is. And there we go. The last class, we talked about the Unit 1, right? Constitution and Chinese politics. And we studied at the Constitution in China as a fundamental law of the Chinese laws. It has very important status in the series of Chinese laws. And we know, okay, here are 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. Not 4. Here are 5 versions of constitutions. Last class we mentioned it. Do you remember? And we are now implementing the version of which one? 1982, right? Yeah. Since the foundation of the new China, we know it's the People's Republic of China. It was founded in 1949, but the first constitution, we not mentioned it our constitution, but it has frankly, it has the basic functions of the constitution. We said, what's the name of the first constitution? Yeah, here it is, Common Program. Just because the Common Program, it promulgated the functions of the new China. For example, what the nature, it regulated the nature of the new China. For example, we know it's the socialism. It's a socialist country, right? So it regulated the nature firstly in the Common Program, and also it regulated other functions. For example, how to organize our government, new government, and how the government or other nation organs to operate as the new, we know, as the new China, right? So even though it was promulgated before the foundation of the new China, we know the new China just was founded in October 1st, right? But such a constitution, Common Program, this important version as the constitution, which was promulgated in September before the foundation of the new China. So we said it was the first constitution in China. But we know with the development of the society, the social issues, we amended or revised other new versions constitutions. And even though we are implementing the version of 1982, I have to say, we had the list revised it for more than 10 times. For more than 10 times, we have revised it. So we said, as the constitution versions, here are five versions. And maybe with the development of the society, maybe we will revise it again and again. Or next, we'll talk about the position of the constitution in Chinese political life. We say it is the fundamental law of the state, and it has the highest status as a law. Other general laws we know in China, and I think maybe it's the same in our own country. You have many general laws, right? And in China, there are lots of general laws. For example, commercial law, business law. We know we are in business school, right? Commercial law and administration laws and other general civil laws or criminal law, right? And other such general laws derive from the constitution. Here is a picture on the screen. It's just it looks like it's just like a tree. The constitution just like what other civilization. It like the trees trunk or branches trunk, right?
Sorry,
So
Lao
is
Chi.
the base. So is the
We can't see PPT. Your PPT.
you what Li Shuai? You are speaking right?
Yes, we can't see your PPT.
You cannot get the PPT. You know?
Yeah.
Can you get the PPT on your phone? Oh, wait a moment. 你们不能，我共享了呀。I have. Wait a moment, Li Shuai. Thanks for your question, and I will try it again. I have shared the PPT online. 哎，我共享了，很奇怪。等一下，这个东西真的，你看这里是有共享啊，
对呀，
但是怎么没有共享的 PPT 呢？哎呀，这个东西，
再试过再连接。
我怎么把它打开？这个，
你哦，我
你看我这里是在共，这里你看
啊，对，
或者是或者是更多。我看看你没有，那在共享什么啊？我看一下你手机。
哦，看到了，现在共享到看到了。
哦，现在呢？
看到了。
Okay. Li Shuai and other guys can get the PPT now. I think you can see it, right?
Yes, Lao Chi.
Okay,
Yes, Lao
let's go ahead. Thanks for your question.
Thank you.
讲到哪儿了？这儿是这儿吗？我把它放大了，能看见哈？能看见。好。松一脚 ，OK。Guys, on the PPT is a picture, right? So it's just a tree. We symbolize the constitution as a trunk of the tree, and of course, other general laws derived from the constitution. We symbolize it as the branches of the tree. Legal effect of the constitution is above all laws. All laws, administrative regulations, and the local laws and other laws shall not conflict with our constitution. Once there are conflict between the general laws, any other general laws, and the constitution, we know what will happen. think it's the same rule between among all the countries. What will happen if there are some conflict between the general laws and the constitution of any country, right? What will conflict? If the conflict happens, cover, cancel what?
Choose one of the law that is contradict. Choose one.
Choose one. Just choose one. Choose which one?
The best one.
Best one? Really?
Constitution.
Constitution. Yeah. And other.
No.
Yeah, you will.
No implementation.
Yeah, no implementation.
Difference between because the constitution is the highest legal standard. So most contradict.
If the change the constitution is other general law, what will happen?
It's a big problem.
Big problem.
Yeah. Because we can't manage the problem. Crime law.
Crime law, yeah.
Crime law and constitution is different. How you can manage things?
Okay. So I don't know whether there are some specific situations between our different countries. This is what I want to emphasize, and I want to impress or share with our students. In our China, I don't know how about in your own country, but in China, because microphone. Yeah.
Russia, the constitution law is some difference.
Yeah, there.
Yeah, and sometimes my country just copies rules and cites our laws. It's make some conflicts. Just basically change the laws just for basic connected. Just for connected with the constitution. Sometimes it's very hard. And it's, law.
Your opinion is also difficult to judge how to deal with the.
Yeah, it's possible to work, but
What?
it's possible to work when the constitution law is possible to work, but
To deal with it, to deal with such issues is very hard. I know what you are meaning, but I don't know if you in your country and the constitution will it to regulate all specific laws or specific rules in the constitution. Will it happen?
In Malaysia, we have two types of law. One is two types of law. So one is the federal law.
Federal law, yeah.
Another one is Islamic law, Sharia law. We have two laws in Malaysia.
这个我不大明白，I didn't get it.
We have two laws in Malaysia, two types of law for our citizens. Two types of law. Not like in China. In China, I think basically
It's a new thing.
in Malaysia,
Yeah.
we have two types of law. One is
Okay, I
the
will
federal law.
check it.
One is Islam. Okay. The federal law stated in Malaysia that everyone is free to drink beer. No problem, you can drink regardless of race, regardless of peace, regardless of culture. No one can force you to drink or not. No one can decide for you whether you can drink alcohol or not. However, in Islam or in Sharia law, it's prohibited. So it's contradict whether when a person
Okay.
whether which law should
I got it.
Is it?
So, Frank, I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
probably
my country.
yeah, because in which one where back to our China. I have to back to the microphone, okay, and to the screen. Something I got it, but I'm not very sure whether in all the countries at the constitution it will give the specific rules for everything, including the civil law, criminal law, just not correctly, right? It's just a it's fundamental law.
Those laws doesn't describe specific situation.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you. I agree that it's the same situation in China. It, as the fundamental law, the constitution will not give every specific rule for all issues, for all social issues. It's just a general, it's just the general law on the top one, right? And a specific general law, such as the criminal law, it will regulate the specific rules for some aspects, right? So in China, once there are some conflicts, if one, for example, if criminal law has some conflicts with the constitution, we will obey the rules of the constitution firstly. It's just a general law, right? I didn't know. Can you understand what I'm saying? If there are some conflicts between the general, one specific general law with the constitution, just because the constitution, here is the next PPT, and I have shared it with you, right? And the constitution, the book, is very thin. It's very thin, just five chapters, just 5 chapters. And our specific general law is very thick, and it gives almost all rules for the right and obligations for the citizen or other organizations. But I didn't get your meaning.
just, I mean, the constitution is and sometimes it's possible to make it flexible. Yeah, the constitution law is one. But if constitution is a little bit flexible, of course, it's more possible to work. Example, yeah, for the law, it's for constitution law, you can arrest one international spy or journalist. But
What?
example, in Russia, if you international spy, when you work in the journalism, if you just get money from another countries, it's mean you are spy. And spy. Yeah. If you just get money from people another country to spy, it's very flexible law, and you can, the government can say who will be arrested.
Who
will be arrested.
It becomes illegal.
Yeah, to make it illegal.
Legal.
As in illegal.
Illegal.
But the purpose of
I get.
Because even though flexible, it's possible to this constitution.
Oh.
Everything depends on, I think for every country, constitution is mother law.
Yeah.
So this maybe does not contradict.
Oh, therefore, you think that maybe not any.
Nothing will happen when they just do some, but they depend on the references to the constitution. Maybe there's one sentence in the constitution But in the law, in specific law, it describes that one sentence different. That's the reference. Most the root is the constitution. I think it's for every country.
Yeah. I agree that as the Constitution, as a fundamental law, is the mother law of other general laws. In such a situation, I can't give a specific, like your example. If there are, when there, but I know, I mean, I cannot give you an example in China. Once there are conflicts between the specific law or with the constitution, how will we deal with such issue? But as a rule, we know constitution in China just at the top level. So all other general laws, once it has enacted, it has been elected, and we will choose once we have to face the choice, we will choose to obey the constitution firstly. But okay, once I get the example, I will share with you, okay? Share with you more.
Maybe
Mhm.
as I know, it comes to big crisis. No, big crisis.
Big crisis.
Yeah. So something emergency.
Or public society.
It's
Mhm.
But as that situation, maybe even that was also issue. They implement special rules, special laws, even in that situation. If we have responsible, like if something happens, it's on purpose, right? You don't know before, you didn't mention constitution, it's maybe not happen. So you implement special one under this. So maybe that at that time the government or the officials they go beyond the constitution. That's what
That's your opinion.
they can decide. Now maybe if like the country is in crisis, right? You can't collect in parliament.
You mean the government, when the government or the people are facing the crisis or disaster,
Yeah.
they will choose the government will
The constitution.
on the
Your first
will
constitution.
beyond the
Beyond the constitution. Maybe you can't handle that power with the constitution.
I'm
Why?
very firm.
Because sometimes you have to amend your constitution, right? You have to amend the constitution because you can't handle that thing is in the existing constitution, right? That's why you amend. But to amend that constitution, if you don't have time, it's hard to
I
speak
can
for
understand
crisis.
what your meaning, but I'm not very confirmed that. Or frankly, I'm not very agree with this point because as said just now, our constitution is very short. The goal of the constitution for our China just to protect the people's life firstly, and to protect the people's all the rights and obligations. So once we are facing the and not only theoretically or in the real life world, once in the past decades, frankly, we have faced a lot of disasters. For example, the snow disasters and the earthquake, especially just in in 208. It's a very horrible year, especially at the beginning of the 2008 when we faced the disaster and a lot of disaster. But even in such emergencies, say we have had to obey the constitution or obey the government because the government also the government or our government's goal is also to protect the people.
Yes.
So it's the same method, same path with the constitution. So I'm not very sure whether our government I can understand your point is the disaster emergency. I can get your point, but I'm not very confirmed that whether our government in fact will be on the constitution when they are dealing with the disasters or other emergencies. Because it's just the same method and the same goal, same target. And not only I have to say, our ruling party is just the CPC, right? Especially the ruling party, the Chinese core. Once the CPC is established, its goal also to serve for the people, to serve for the 1 dot. Now it's 1.4 billion people, right? Is the CPC goal. So the constitution of our party or our government, the goal is the same.
Yeah.
So
Function.
understand.
Yeah.
The point is the disaster very dangerous
Yeah.
and numbers. The time is limited. So what will the government do? Is a very interesting.
Maybe I don't know about the specific constitution. That's maybe the problem. But in my country, under the constitution, it mentions that if some special thing happens, maybe the government, those highest official may come to the prime minister. And the prime minister can do
I know.
beyond that constitution. The constitution allows for
You granted in your constitution?
yeah. In the constitution, it is, but there's no space. Under
It's not very clear
Yeah.
in the constitution just to mention the under the emergency
yeah, if you might
the prime minister will.
yeah, do something beyond maybe the
I can understand it, but prime minister, not the president, right?
country.
Prime minister is the top one.
We have both.
I
Yes.
Yeah, maybe there's some difference between the constitutions. It's very interesting, and I know that in our emergency, not just only the disasters from the social issues or the disasters from nature, especially refers to the enemies from other countries. Our president, especially not only the country's president, also especially refers to the general secretary of the CPC, and our president in China, is the same person.
Yes.
Okay. Can you understand
Yeah.
that one? Yeah, CPC top leader and the country's top leader. Yeah, that is the same one, Xi Jinping, right? Then, what we are facing the enemies, invasion. I just referred to the invasion. Starting war. Then not the prime minister, just the president.
Yeah.
President Xi will write an essay to
Yeah.
fight back.
Yeah.
Well, we are to fight back. This is regulated in our constitution. In our constitution, I to say just this one issue.
Only invasion,
Only
like conflicts with country.
invasion. I mean, such an invasion just from other countries. No, just first in war. Not only the inner issue. Yeah. Our top leader will not say to you know we now more passion to deal with the social problems. Just one situation to fight back. Okay. So I have to study other countries, especially the constitution, to know more. Frankly, I don't know. In your country, there are two systems. Can I say that? Two systems of, and I also don't know in your country the difference. So I also have to learn more. Yeah, but frankly, in our and the constitution in our China is the supreme standard for the actives of our organizations and the individuals. That means our organizations and the individuals have to obey the constitution firstly. And the constitution stipulates the fundamental. Stipulates the fundamental system of the state and the basic principles of nation life. On the right of the PPT, we know there are just five chapters. In our constitution. Just now I said as a book is very thin, not very thick, right? Firstly is the preface, the fundamental task ideology, basic principles, the nature of the country, policies of domestic and foreign affairs. In chapter 1, China's national economic and social systems. 2 is for basic rights and obligations for the people, for the citizens. And chapter 3, the organization, tasks, functions, and powers of the state organ. And the last one is about the nation's flag, anthem, capital, and emblem. Right? And the general laws only regulate one aspect of national life, such as the general civil law, criminal law, commercial law. Just now I mentioned it. Just regulate one aspect of the social issues, right? And the constitutional adjustment is the fundamental or overall issue of the national life, but it will not specifically regulate all social issues or for the citizens. So it's just a how to say it? It is on the top of the laws, but it was not very specific for the social issues or for the rights of the citizens. Okay. And making and amending constitution should follow strict procedures than other general law. I mean, here, if we want to amend or revise some other general laws, we just need to get the admission of the NPC standing committee. But if we want to amend our constitution, it will be harder than other general laws. I have to say, it will get the admission of more than 2/3 of all deputies of the National People's Congress. Then we can amend the Constitution. What's that meaning? If we want to amend the, for example, oh, here it is. Here it is. Sorry, I have to change to computers PPT. What does it mean? If we want to amend our, for example, the general civil law, or amend the criminal law, once our NPC standing committee agree that it will pass, it will be passed. Can you get it? But if we want to amend our constitution, then we have to get the admission of over 2/3 of all the deputies of the National People's Congress. We know in our first class what the number of the whole deputies of our NPC, National People's Congress, is 2,000. No, 3,000.
Yeah.
It's close to 3,000 persons, close to 3,000 deputies. That means 2/3 of all the deputies. It will reach about 2,000 deputies agree, then we can amend it. We can amend the constitution, right? But as any other general laws, we just get the permission, get the admission of the NPC standing committee. NPC standing committee's deputies, the number is very limited. It's very lower than the total number of the NPC deputies. It's just about 150 persons. NPC standing committee. So if we want to amend any other general laws, it will be easier than to amend the constitution. So from this aspect, from this perspective, we have to say to amend such constitution is more harder. This work is harder than the procedure is harder than the general law. Right? So it's very important to amend because it's very important to amend the constitution. Oh, 体验一下。Yeah. Oh, let's have a 5 minutes break. Okay, and I will check the attendance. Guys online, now we are having 5 minutes break. Okay, and I'll check your names. Class, let's get started. Here. 出不来啊。哦，好了。Oh, next one. The Constitution of our China established the political power organization system from 2 aspects. One is the horizon. Constitution regulates horizontally the National People's Congress, the President of People's Republic of China, the State Council, the Central Military Commission, autonomous organs, and people courts and the people's procuratories. Horizon means such a level. The Constitution regulates such organs, and it also stipulates our countries from center to local vertically. And for example, the first one, this one, just now we said the first one, National People's Congress, right? And from the centers, on the center, On the top one, we call it as our National People's Congress, but it also has many branches with at all levels, from the central to the local. There are lots of branches of the People's Congresses. For example, in Jiangsu province. Now we are living and studying in Jiangsu province, right? And there are also a local People's Congress. We call it as our Jiangsu province's People's Congress, right? It's just the meaning. Can you understand? Can you get that? Yeah, good. The Constitution also stipulates the organs vertically from the top one to all the local organizations. Okay, just the meaning. Next one. Next one. It also standardizes the national political operation, although our constitution doesn't provide detailed operation procedures, just like I mentioned. It provides the most basic norms. Yeah, most basic norms for the operation of political power organs. Here are some examples. Just to share the first one. The Constitution, the provisions of the Constitution on the national legislative system, including such followings: including the organization of the legislature, the division of legislative authority, legislative procedure, legislative principles, and the supervision of legislative activities. And it will happen in other national administrative system or the judicial system. Okay, it's just the most basic norms for the operation of the state's political organ. And here are other laws regulated by the Constitution I want to share with our students. We also call it our main laws. For example, the first one is we call it as the organizational law, but I'm not very sure whether our students can you get the meaning of the word organizational? Organizational law. But in Chinese, can you express it? Organization. So is the difference between the English word and Chinese word. Here is not refers to the firm or company. It's just a group. Okay. 不是指企业或者公司。Not an economic word. It's just a group. So I am not very sure. In Chinese, organization, just in Chinese expression is 组织。Yeah, 就是组织法，但是它不是指公司。Okay, in Chinese, in English. For example, we are classmates, right? We are in the university. For our class is an organization, and the university is also another organization. Get it? 组织, not firm, not firm, not company. Okay. So the organizational law, it also includes lots of different organizations law.
Sometimes companies can be
but is in my opinion is yeah, I know is a company is also is an organization, but economic business concept 是这样吧？我不知道我这样说对不对？
There's different organization, right? Office organization.
This organizational law regulates such organizations relating with the political organs. Political organs, yeah. 这样能理解吧 ？Political organs, not the business organs. Such as the organizational law of the National People's Congress is a state organ, right? And the organizational law of the state council, and organizational law of the people's procuratories and the court, right? People's court law, organizational law of the local people's congresses or levels of local people's congresses, right? And the local people's government, and organizational law with village committees and the organizational law of the residence committees. It's very specific, right? Just I want to push you to understand just as the political organs, not related with the business or the economical fields. Okay. And such organizational law just regulates the following organs related with the political, with Chinese politics, how to permit, how to operate, and to regulate the rights, especially the obligation, how to serve for example, how to serve for the villages or the citizens. Right. This is called. Thanks for your understanding, because I know I'm not very sure how to express some words in English. In English, we know we can write it or speak it out with this word, but I'm not very sure. Can you get the point? Because just now you said, of course, I know a firm is also an organization, but here is a very distinct difference between such all kinds of organs, organizations. So NGO. So I have to say it's just related to such laws, just related with the political organs. Okay. Next one, electoral law. In the next part, we will share with our students a very also important political system. We call it 人民代表大会, People's Congress. And we will also mention the details about the regulations provided by the electoral law. So here, the electoral system can be divided into broad sense and narrow sense. I just want to say here are two perspectives to understand the election or in China. What's the meaning of the broad election system? That means the election not only to elect the deputies of people's congresses, also elect, for example, the president, the prime minister, or the leaders of the governments, right? But this is the broad, narrow sense, or this is just one perspective. Another perspective is the so-called narrow sense. That means our electoral law just refers to elect one aspect, to elect the deputies, of the People's Congresses. So the election system only refers to the principles and procedures for electing our state power organ. So we have to know in China what the state power organ. And in first class, I have mentioned it. Who is our state power organ? Just one. Okay. Not CBC. CBC is the party. Is the party. The president? No. The state power organ in China just refers to the National People's Congress. NPC. Yeah, abbreviation is NPC, National People's Congress. But to the so-called broad election system to elect the leaders of the parties, we know there are not only one party in China, right? And to elect the president or the prime minister or other leaders of the political organs, right? This is the broad electoral system. But electoral law here just refers one to elect the state power organ, especially to, for example, elect the leader of the NPC. We know yesterday one session has been closed, the NPC, right? National People's Congress meeting. And we changed and we elected our leaders, our chairman of National People's Congress, right? Here, it refers to the narrow sense. And the law, this law just refers to the electoral law. Our electoral law, I have to say, gets more achievements. Maybe some achievements you think it's normal. It's normal standard, but frankly, some achievements we get year and year, and we have amended our electoral law for several times. Next one, yeah, here it is. Example one. Maybe you. Here are two examples. Can you understand such a ratio? The ratio of the population represented by deputies in rural areas with the population represented by deputies in urban areas is 41 before 2010. Yeah, before 2010, it is the year 2010, but we amended it in electoral law. We changed the ratio to 1:1. 1:1. Can you understand such a ratio? The same, yeah. That means the deputies from the rural areas is equal to the deputies from the urban areas. Before 2010 is the such a ratio. Can you what's your opinion? Will you recognize it? This is an unequal, not fair, unequal. Is that your opinion?
I think that time is a lot of rulers. Now it's
I think you can. Because the population, how many years? Long time? Huh?
Yes.
4 years. So you graduated. I think you are very familiar with real situations. Just because you understand the point, such a ratio is written in our former election law. Do you understand such a ratio? It looks like very unequal, right? Unfair. But I have to say, in fact, it's very fair in our realization. Can you understand that? Just because since not only since the foundation of our People's Republic of China, and especially before it was founded, the population of the rurals is more higher than the population of the urbans, and the ratio is just this. Yeah, 4:1, because for a long time our country, the peasants occupied about a very high percent, reached 80%. 80% peasants. In my opinion, I will not call it as farmer. I will call it a peasant. Because farmer will occupy more and more lands and other productive materials, right? But in our history, the peasants has no more, and especially some peasants has no any productive materials. Do you understand that? So we will choose this word to express the peasant, not the farmer. To use the peasant class, worker class. Right? So maybe it is very similar with the farmer, right? And now in the developed rural areas, in fact, more and more peasants become into the farmers, right? But in political issues, we call it the peasant class. Because the population of the peasants reached 80%. 80%. And if when we establish our PRC, if we regulated in our electoral law to elect our deputies from other rural areas and urban areas, what will happen? What will happen if we regulate it at an equal ratio, 1:1? What will happen? When we founded our new People's Republic of China, if we change this ratio to 1:1, not 4:1, what will happen? We can imagine that, right? Peasant deputies will more than the deputies from the urban areas, and most of the deputies will be peasant or workers in urban areas. Most of them will be peasants, right? But frankly, can you imagine that before 70 or 80 years, what's the realization for the peasant? Yeah, it's unfair.
At that time, the population, most of the population lives in the rural area. So make it one
Yeah.
in the city. That we representatives represents also people. So the ratio is not fair. We huge
Yeah.
life. Something. So those people, they don't have representatives. They don't have voice. So they don't give voice.
Not know any representative, just less representative to their voice and their voice. It's just their rights.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, in 1949, when we were founding our People's Republic of China, we choose this ratio, right? Some voices from the urban will not be heard, right? So it looks like not unfair, but it's very fit for the situation at that moment in 1949. So with the development of the rural areas, especially more and more peasants, especially the peasants' children, get more education cultivation. So, especially more and more rural areas were turning to cities with the modernization of the China. We are pushing it. We were pushing it for decades, right? So more and more urban areas becomes into the urban areas. So the population construction also be changed. Not in 2010, just in 2000. The population of the peasants is equal to the population of the urban areas. I mean, 50% peasants, 50% was urban citizens. Can you get that? But there are 10 years gap. You know, what we want to, not only the people, also the political leaders, what we are then want to amend the electoral law, it is not a very quick procedure. More and more people, more and more citizens will discuss it. Can you get that? So it just happened in 2010, we amended the electoral law. So in my opinion, it's a very great achievement. Even though we have recognized it for several years, but in electoral law is a very great promotion. This is the first example. And next one, maybe you will be very familiar with that situation. The election committee should organize the representative candidates to meet with the voters according to the requirements of the voters, and the representative candidates should introduce themselves and answer the voters' questions. Do you think it's a very normal situation in your country, such as the representative to meet with the voters and to answer the voters' question and to introduce themselves to the voters? Is normal, right? It is normal, right? And in fact, in our nowadays electoral system is normal too. But I have to say, in the past decades, we didn't do that. So it's also a improvement, right? Achievement, and we amended in the electoral law to push all the representative candidates into the people, walk into the people, face to face, door to door, right? And most of the voters should know what the name of the candidates, right? So once questions, okay. So some phenomena maybe now we think is normal situation, but actually it gets improvement. It gets improvement, especially reflected into the electoral law. Okay. For my children, maybe they think it should be like this one, but we know we faced from other situations to get such improvement. And the normative role of the electoral law in contemporary Chinese politics mainly includes such aspects. For example, to standardize the organization and leadership of electoral work and the source of funds. I will not express all the divisions, but here, to the first one, I have to say the source of funds of the election in China is not from the private persons or private organizations. It's just from the country. It's provided from the country. And in our law, not only the electoral law, and in other laws, we forbidden the private persons' money be pushed into the election. In our opinion, frankly, it will interfere the fail of the election. So all the funds related with any election are from the nation funds, not from the private persons or private organizations. And I have to say, yes, some private organizations or private persons who had done some issues involved with the election in our history. Yeah, but we looked at it as a criminal issue and to forbid it according with the law. So this is the first point. And other points we will share them with you in the following part. Especially we are talking about the issues related with the People's Congress, okay? And here, another law, general law, is about the regional ethnic autonomy. Here are questions. Sorry, didn't change it. Here's a question. How many ethnic autonomous regions in China do you know? First one. How many autonomous regions?
Region.
新疆.
新疆.
Bigger. 新疆 bigger. Which one? 新疆 which one? Yeah. The right one, right? So I see my picture. Third picture. 新疆 bigger, right? Good. Which one? In Inner Mongolia, not Mongolia. Our Chinese is Inner Mongolia. Inner. INNER. Inner Mongolia. Mongolia for us is a country.
I think the second one is Tibet.
Yeah. First one is Inner Mongolia. Sorry. This one is Inner Mongolia. And this one is Tibetan. Tibetan, right? Xizang. This one is Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. This one is Inner Mongolia. Because for us, Mongolia is a country. Yeah, just a name. 内蒙，新疆不是新疆，西藏，藏族。And how about others? 2 autonomous regions? No. Special administration region. Remember? We mentioned it in first class. How about other? Yeah. No, that is just a province. We just stop to discuss it. Yeah, that's okay. Not Taiwan. It's Guangxi. ethnic. 壮 ethnic. Yeah, 壮. And another word is 宁夏. 宁夏回 ethnic. Autonomous region. Just five. And here are other municipalities such as 上海、北京、天津、重庆。
广州。
No, municipalities. Such cities are just governed under the central government directly, right? 北京、上海、重庆、天津。Well, Guangdong is a province. It's not a municipality. Nanjing is the capital of Jiangsu province. Guangdong and Jiangsu are also provinces. Hong Kong is a special administrative region. Hong Kong, the status is just like Macau. Yeah, Taiwan, we look at as one of our provinces, but we know the history to the modern China. Right? It belongs to the mainland China, but we know it's not just like the Hong Kong and Macau. It didn't return to China to nowadays, right? But our political goal is to get it back. Yeah. Okay. Then this is all the content of this class. Okay. See you next month. And we want to say goodbye. Thanks for your coming. Yeah. 哦，可以，谢谢你啊，今天得亏你这个热点，要不我这个真的很糟糕。
Thank you, teacher.